Well, welcome. We're really pleased to have you here tonight. I'm Larry Robinson. I'm the Vice Dean for Clinical Affairs and Graduate Medical Education here at the University of Washington School of Medicine. I want to just briefly introduce UW-Medicine to you and talk about what UW-Medicine is. UW-Medicine is one healthcare system, but really has 8 entities in it. And as you can see on the slide, it consists of Harborview Medical Center, Northwest Hospital and Medical Center, our most recent addition, Valley Medical Center, University of Washington Medical Center, the neighborhood clinics, UW Physicians, which is our practice group, the UW School of Medicine, and then Airlift Northwest. And the last one, Airlift Northwest, you're going to be hearing more about tonight. Well, what's the mission of UW-Medicine? Why are we here? It's an easy one for me to remember. It's to improve the health of the public. How do we do that? Well, we do that by advancing medical knowledge, by providing outstanding primary and secondary specialty care to the people of the region, and by preparing tomorrow's physicians, scientists, and healthcare professionals. UW-Medicine covers a big part of Western Washington. Here you can see the greater Puget Sound area, and you can see we have hospitals and clinics throughout Seattle, extending out into the east side, down to Federal Way, and up to Shoreline. We also have a regional presence. No other medical school in the United States serves more than one state. UW-Medicine serves 5 states. We call it the WWAMI model, which is Washington, Wyoming, Alaska, Montana, and Idaho. And this program is considered the benchmark academic model for training and for placing of physicians in underserved communities. It just so happens that this is the 40th anniversary of the WWAMI model. I know I don't look quite 40, but it is the 40th anniversary of the model. Who makes up UW-Medicine? Well, there are more than 21,000 staff members in UW-Medicine. We have a large number of trainees, about 4,500 between students and trainees across a broad range of undergraduate, professional, and postgraduate programs. And we have about 2,000 employed faculty members and more than 4,600 clinical faculty members across the 5-state WWAMI region. We do a lot of patient care. We have about 65,000 admissions each year to UW-Medicine's 4 hospitals, and we have about 1.4 million visits between outpatient and emergency room visits to the hospitals and clinics each year. We're ranked number 1 in primary care as a medical school for 18 years by the U.S. News & World Report. And I have to say our chair of family medicine gets nervous every year when the rankings come out because there's only one direction you can change, and that's not a good one. The UW-Medicine hospitals are ranked amongst the top medical centers by the U.S. News & World Report, both nationally and locally. And the School of Medicine is ranked consistently among the top 3 medical schools in the country in receipt of NIH funding. And this ranking is done by U.S. News & World Report. And as is typical, Harvard was first, and we were number 2. University of Washington was number 2 in all NIH funding, and clearly number 1 amongst all public medical schools. So what's the mission of Mini Medical School? I told you the mission for UW-Medicine. Well, it's to inform you in an interactive way. And interactive, this is the first time we're having live bands at Mini Medical School. So for those of you who this is the first time coming, we don't do this every year. This is special. So to inform you about the biomedical sciences, extending all the way from basic science to patient care, to help you develop a better understanding of what our medical school does and the resources it has to offer, and to create a partnership with you in the appreciation of the science and patient care at UW-Medicine, and above all, to have fun. Now we have new hosts for 2012. Those of you who have been here for a while will note that these are new Mini Medical School hosts. And it's very interesting because when I called Dr. Cheng, who's on your left, she said, well, who else are you thinking about asking? And I mentioned Dr. Brentnall. And she said, oh, we're best friends. As long as I say yes, Dr. Brentnall will say yes too. Don't worry about it. And that's, sure enough, that's the way it worked. So we're very lucky to get these 2 friends who have been friends since medical school. Dr. Edith Chang is professor of obstetrics and gynecology at the School of Medicine. She's the medical director of prenatal genetics and fetal therapy program here at UW Medical Center. And she's the medical director of prenatal and infant care clinic at UW Medical Center. So again, welcome to the 12th edition of Mini Medical School, and I will now turn it over to our co-host and Dr. Brentnall. Thank you.
So tonight is our area of interest is going to be not the traditional path to learning and practicing medicine. And I have to say that when I went to medical school, and you won't hear me harp on this very much, that'll probably be the last time I say this, but the average age of the person in the class was 30. And we had a principal from an elementary school who became a medical student, and a jazz horn player, and people from all different walks of life, artists, engineers, typists, back in the day when people typed. So I think that there's a tradition of being non-traditional here at the UW, which I actually have the greatest derives a great deal of satisfaction from that. So tonight we're going to hear from Greg Crowther, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. He's an acting instructor in allergy and infectious disease here at the UW. He's a research scientist and a teacher who focuses on drug discovery for malaria and other neglected diseases. And in case you guys didn't learn this in your previous mini medical school sessions, malaria equals bad. Okay? And bad equals, we don't have any drugs, for God's sake, get back to work. So it's really important to come up with new drug discovery for treating these. He has created a free online database of over 5,000 science songs, oh my God, that are a central part of the Sing About Science and Math project, which you can get online and click into, and he is the co-principal investigator of that project. So here he is with his child, his 5-year-old child, because he doesn't just do this, he does more. He's a dad. And here he is bicycle riding with Phil. We need to let you know that the Sing About Science project is building a community of researchers who study the usefulness of music in science and math education. Dr. Crowther, Money for Drugs is the format of a rap video that took first prize at the 2011 UW Pocket Media Film Festival. He is an active blogger. He has co-authored several publications, including the forthcoming Using Science Songs to Enhance Learning, an Interdisciplinary Approach. You can see here that he is doing an ultra event on the weekend, 100K. I don't even like to drive 100K. I cannot imagine running that. You don't look all that happy in that picture, I gotta give it to you. All right, so he got his BA in biology from Williams College in Williamston, Massachusetts, his PhD in physiology and biophysics here at the UW. Major hobby is running. He's named the 2007 USA Track and Field Ultra Runner of the Year. That's pretty good. And represented the U.S. at the World 100 Kilometer Road Race Championships 2005, 2007, 2008. What about 2012? Okay, he's backing off. Is he a singer? We will find out. And now to present to you our speaker.
Thanks, Terry. By far the longest introduction I've ever had the pleasure of receiving. So, because I'm from the Division of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, I want to talk to you tonight about infectious diseases. And some of this material will sound familiar to you. You've been through it before, but perhaps it's kind of faded from your memory. And so my goal tonight is to present it in a more memorable way by using the medium of music. And since passive listening alone might not engage you enough to really drive home the key points, I'm going to ask you to sing along and round out the sound. So I hope you're up for that. It should be fun. As Terry said in giving my full biography, I was an undergraduate back east. I grew up in Vermont. I went to Williams for undergraduate studies, came out here for grad school in 1995, and at the time I was studying exercising human muscles. And a lot is known about the molecular and cellular details about muscle exercise, and so some of that information is summarized here. You start in the brain with the decision to move your muscles, and so that electrochemical signal is transmitted away from the brain through the motor neurons to your muscle cells. The cell membranes depolarize, calcium is released. The calcium binds to a protein called troponin. Troponin, when it binds calcium, causes another protein, tropomyosin, to sort of move away so that actin and myosin, additional proteins, can interact and slide past each other, and the muscle as a whole contracts. This process requires energy, and ATP is the chemical energy used for that process. So, a lot of information. I got tired just reciting it all. How are we to keep all of that in mind? Well, let us try this using a template, a musical template provided by the Knack in their biggest and perhaps only hit song, My Sharona. Yes, this is a good time for the band to get their muscles moving. As I warned you, I'd like you to help us perform this. So the chorus, what I'm calling the chorus of this song, sounds something like. So it's, we don't have to be in key right now exactly, but it's something like, signal from the brain rides the nerve to the muscle, where the myosin inside will slide past the actin of the woo! Myofibrils. Thank you. It's even better with instruments. But now I want you to try that with me if you are willing. Just do the best you can. 1, 2, 3, 4. Signal from the brain rides the nerve to the muscle, where the myosin inside will slide past the actin of the woo! Myofibrils. Yeah. All right. Good. Note that it is my, not my, or my. Battles of the bands have been won and lost on such details. So I want you to have fun, but, pay attention too and get it right. Okay, and at this time I'm going to call Dr. Janice Weeks to the podium. Janice is visiting us from the University of Oregon, where she's a neurophysiology professor and knows all about this process. She plays African instruments, which, because I'm not a very creative person, I couldn't figure out quite how to incorporate them, so instead she's relegated to advancing the slides for me. But I appreciate that, and next year we'll do something more for you. All right, so yes, that's right. Okay. You're on track. My keyboard is on. All right, guys. Maybe I'll just introduce you now. So on drums we have Mr. Brad Stoll. And on guitar and later on cello, we have Mr. Ryan Choi. Ryan is actually a colleague in our lab. We work in adjacent labs. And Brad is just a cool drummer we picked up last week. So here we go, Myofibrils.
My little filaments,
filaments, actin and myosin, myofibrils, proteins that are long and dense, making up the structure of the myofibrils. Here we go, signal from the brain, rise the nerve to the muscle, where the myosin inside will slide past the actin of the myofibrils. Add a little calcium to the cytoplasm near the myofibrils. It will turn troponin on, causing the contraction of the myofibrils. Signal from the brain, rise the nerve to the muscle, where the myosin inside will slide past the actin of the myofibrils. Myofibrils. Muscles need energy, most of which is needed by the myosin burns ATP, fueling the contraction of the signal from the brain, rise the nerve to the muscle, where the myosin inside will slide past the actin of the myofibrils. Myofibrils. Thanks for your participation as well as your applause. So, moving right along through my illustrious career, I did a postdoc here on the metabolism of methylotrophic bacteria, which don't cause disease. Sorry, I should stand a little closer here. And then I moved into my current sort of path, which is on, again, as Terry said, target-based drug development. And you know what drug development is, of course. A target-based approach means that we're zeroing in on often individual proteins that we think, boy, if we could just inhibit the function of this protein in this pathogen, the malaria parasite or whatever, then we think that pathogen would die and we could cure the disease. So this image here is of a protein, an enzyme from human immunodeficiency virus. And so the protein structure is shown in red, and through much hard work by many researchers, not including me, they came up with the design of the compound shown in green. And you can maybe sort of make out that the chemical structure of the compound fits very, very nicely and precisely into the binding site of the protein. So this is kind of what we're shooting for. This is when everything goes really well, we end up here with a compound that very specifically inhibits a protein and kills the pathogen. Getting to this is a very long and arduous road, and in our lab we work on several of the steps of the process shown here. So starting with trying to pick out which proteins would make good targets, and then trying to produce large quantities of those in purified form, starting the search for inhibitors, things that may not be the perfect inhibitor, but at least get us going, while also trying to solve the protein's three-dimensional structure. And then we get into this optimization process, looking for better, more specific and selective inhibitors, and eventually, if things go well, moving into the animal work that is so critical as a bridge between the very early stage work and ultimately human clinical trials. So again, I've just lobbed a whole lot of information at you, and I want to try to make it a little more digestible and memorable. And we aren't going to do this live, but since Ryan's great video did win that prize that you heard about, I thought we would just play that again for you tonight. So this was actually made on a Friday afternoon in the lab when our boss was away. And he came back the next Monday, and we had this award-winning video to show for it. So we hope you like it.
Working in the lab is a pretty sweet gig. The people are smart and the toys are really big. But we can't be chill when our homies are ill, so we write a new proposal to create another pill. If you have malaria, we want to take care of ya. And if we succeed, then no one has to bury ya. So we beg for grants even though it's so demeaning, cause you need a good stash for a high throughput screening. We need money for drugs. We ain't no thugs, but it takes more funds to kill more bugs.
Parasites,
we start with expression of recombinant protein. A soluble product is a reason for emoting. We quantify its function and look for inhibitors and find the delimiters of active site perimeter. When the SAR is leaving us baffled, we call in the chemist to create a new scaffold. It's not like making meth, it's really hard to do it, but we gotta break through to a brand new therapeutic. We need money for drugs. We ain't no thugs, but it takes more funds to kill more bugs.
Parasites, yo!
We need money for drugs. We ain't no thugs, but it takes more funds to kill more bugs.
Parasites, yo!
We need money for drugs. We ain't no thugs. It takes more funds to kill more bugs.
Parasites, yo!
We need money for drugs. We ain't no thugs.
Yeah, boy!
It takes more funds to kill more bugs. That's probably enough. Hey Angela, you working late again?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks again to Ryan for putting that together. I basically wrote the song and then came to him and said, "Can we illustrate this?" And he pretty much took it from there. So that was fantastic. All right, so because this is mini medical school, I thought, I'm new to this as well, I thought, how do we simulate medical school with these people? Well, let's give them an exam. So here we go. Here's your first exam of mini medical school for this year. This is infectious disease stuff, and we'll just see how you do. I guess when I read the answer that you think is correct, maybe raise your hand. We couldn't get the clickers this year. Sorry about that. So viruses and bacteria are similar in that both are single-celled organisms. Anyone? Can be treated with antibiotics, contain genetic material. Okay, a bunch of takers there. Or all of the above. Okay. The vast majority seem to have known that one. Very good. There are 5 in all. Are there bacteria on or in normal, healthy adults? No. Okay, no one voted for that one. Can't fool you guys, especially the 10-year people. A few species are in our gut. Is that the extent of it? They lay eggs in our hair. Or they are abundant throughout the gut, the skin, and all mucosal surfaces of the body. Yes, you like that one? Indeed, you are correct, again. By the way, why are these, since you're having no trouble just breezing through this, why are the letters A, G, C, and T? Anyone? Yes?
Those are the letters in the nucleotide bases of DNA.
Exactly right. Very good. Very good. So DNA is this written in this 4-letter alphabet of A, G, C, and T. Okay, which diseases or disease have been eradicated thanks to medical advances? Malaria, polio. Okay, some votes for polio, smallpox, and all of the above. Okay, yeah, a little more dissension there. That's quite all right. Turns out that smallpox is the only one that's been completely, absolutely stamped out everywhere. Polio is still lingering, I'm afraid, in Africa and Asia a bit. Okay, number 4, Andrew Wakefield, who proposed a link between the MMR vaccine and autism, has been fully vindicated by studies from independent labs, or just got a large research grant to continue his exploratory studies, or had his paper supporting this proposal retracted by the Lancet and is no longer licensed to practice medicine, okay, or had several mid-'80s hits as part of the pop duo Wham. All right, yes, so C is correct. Who is actually being referred to in choice T? Anyone know? Andrew Ridgeley, yes, very good. Yeah, if you know that, you're probably a big fan of 80s music, as I am, which I fully support, even if it's not medical per se. And last, people have gotten HIV from AIDS patients via closed-mouth kissing, intravenous drug needles, all right, giving blood, or mosquitoes. So I think most of you had it as intravenous drug needles. So why did I put you through this, aside from, to humiliate you and all that? No, you did great, so I didn't humiliate you at all. But many of the members of the general public, even if you don't personally exemplify this, have a lot of misconceptions about infectious disease. And so some of the ones I was trying to cover in these quiz questions are listed here. So, viruses are the same as bacteria. Most or all microorganisms are dangerous. A whole bunch of diseases have been eradicated. Vaccines cause autism, and HIV can be transmitted really easily through casual contact. All of these are not true according to scientific and medical consensus. So I'm really happy that most of you already know this stuff really well. But again, for extra reinforcement, we go to the music. I have some misconception songs for you, starting with this number 2, most microorganisms are dangerous and should be killed. So the song there is called Good Bacteria. Trying to make this message as clear as possible, right? So the chorus is pretty simple here. It goes something like this. We live with good bacteria. So, and you can sing that in a number of ways. If you have a nice falsetto, you can give it the Brian Wilson Beach Boys treatment. That would be wonderful. If you're more of an earnest kind of, punch it out, you can sing like Melissa Etheridge or Michael Stipe. Those would work well. I think they'll all blend together very nicely. So why don't you just give it your best shot with me in whatever form of inspiration you want to take. Let's see, how does this go? It's 1, 2, 3, we live with. All right, so 1, 2, 3, we live with good bacteria. Or sometimes if I'm feeling extra moved, I might say, good bacteria. So you can do that too if you want to. All right, so Janice, you're on. Band, you're on. And I'm on. All right, here we take a swig here. Okay.
We know that microbes can make us ill, but many species don't fit that bill. Hey, Dr. Mechnikov, what do you say? Do all the good bugs keep the bad ones away? We live with good bacteria. Again, we live with good bacteria. In the air, on our skin, all around and within. Now probiotics are catching on. Some claims are valid and some are wrong. So read the research and get the scoop. Lactobacillus just may help you to poop. We live with good bacteria. We live with good bacteria. In our gut, in our chest, symbiosis at its best. So don't be too quick to sterilize. These tiny microbes enrich our lives. They train immune cells, they process our food, and keep our pathogens suppressed and subdued. We live with good bacteria. We live with good bacteria. Just can't stop. We live with good bacteria.
Thank you. Excellent. So now we come to a couple more misconception songs about malaria and AIDS, respectively. And I first want to just make sure you're really clear on why we're singing these songs. There are some funny elements to them for sure, but at the same time, we are absolutely not trying to trivialize or make light of the diseases, which, as you well know, as everyone knows, negatively impact millions of people and their friends and families. So we hope you appreciate these songs in the spirit that they were intended. Again, we're trying to raise awareness and keep things in your consciousness, and yes, also have a little fun along the way. So this song I did not write, actually. One reason that we knew, when my boss was away, we made this video and we figured it would probably be okay, is because he writes science songs too. So Ryan's and my boss is Wes Van Voris. He's the chief of allergy and infectious disease, and he's actually here tonight. Wes, can you stand up? So Wes teaches medical students, among others, about the symptoms of malaria and such, and so he encapsulated those in these lyrics. So he's covering things like the fact that if you have malaria, you have this cycle of fever and chills, you're pale, you'll lose consciousness in extreme cases, labored breathing. It's transmitted by mosquitoes from person to person, as many of you may know. And the spleen serves to kind of grab the infected red blood cells, and sometimes will get, kind of overloaded with these blood cells and can get enlarged to the point of pain in some cases. So this is how one way in which he covers that material. He also, I think, does a more traditional approach. So we're going to try to cover his song, I guess is the term, tonight with Ryan on cello. Malaria, I just had a chill from malaria, and suddenly I knew a fever would come to and sweat. Malaria, I think I shall die of malaria. My breathing labors on, my consciousness is gone, I'm pale. Malaria, sing it loud and your spleen will be pining. Sing it soft and you'll hear skeeters whining. Malaria, 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 malaria. All right. Thanks, Ryan, and thanks again, Wes, for loaning us the song. I hope you don't mind we switched a few of the words around for, musical reasons. All right, and then we have one more misconception song. This is called Modes of Transmission, and it's about HIV, human immunodeficiency virus, which causes AIDS. And for this one, you aren't actually, your singing isn't necessary, but you need to chant, chant vigorously. So, and it's toward the end of the song, but you'll see it when it pops up on the slide. So if I shout out, you won't get AIDS from mosquito bites in rhythm. You just need to chant it right back to me. So you won't get AIDS from mosquito bites. You won't get AIDS from mosquito bites. You won't get AIDS from an errant sneeze. You won't get AIDS from an errant sneeze. Just like that. So, very good. And this one, this isn't exactly a song parody, but there are elements of an Aerosmith Run DMC collaboration from the 80s. So some of you may notice that. Well, I'm desirous to talk about a virus, the one called HIV. Immunodeficiency leads to malignancy and opportunistic disease. But what are the modes of transmission? 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 Well, aside from the paths that the virus has into a child from its mother, sexual fluids and blood will move it from one body to another. Yes, these are the modes of transmission. 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 So, you won't get AIDS from mosquito bites. You won't get AIDS from an errant sneeze. You won't get AIDS from toilet seats. You won't get AIDS from shaking hands. You won't get AIDS from sharing spoons. And you won't get AIDS from giving blood. right, thanks again. We are running short of time, so for your mini medical school mini homework, feel free to visit my website if you want. And for, that's what it looks like. This is the database page, so you can type in a word, a keyword or something, and see if I know of any songs that exist about that. They're mostly not written by me. Of the 5,500 songs, 5,480 are by other people. So even if you're having a lousy time and not enjoying my songs at all, go to the database and find other people's songs. And then for mini extra credit, you could even write your own songs and tell me about them so that I can add them to the database. It's not just a frivolous exercise, as some skeptics might tell you. There are a lot of intellectual challenges involved in encapsulating the key concepts accurately but concisely, and so forth. So I want to acknowledge various people. Wes and some others here at UW-Medicine were scientific consultants on these songs. UC Davis collaborator helped get the website in better shape and so forth. My longtime friend, Dew Peterson, is sort of an inspiration for everything I do musically. And the band, of course, Brad Stoll, Ryan Choi. Thank you so much, guys. Literally could not have done it without you. And I've just, because I need to prepare these slides in advance, I've put in a mandatory encore. I didn't really want to end with the malaria and AIDS songs as necessarily being the proper send-off. So on a sort of a more optimistic note, celebrating the human body in a healthy state when things are going well, we have These Cells Are Your Cells. And again, you're highly encouraged to sing along. I don't think we even need to rehearse this one. We'll just go into it and see how it goes. So Janice, one last time, thank you. These cells are your cells, these cells are my cells, from the CD4 cells to the retinal Y cells, very nice, from the haploid gametes to our guest E. coli. Oh, these cells are found in you and me. When I am running, my knees go skyward from the contraction of muscle fibers. Their sliding filaments support this function. And these cells are found in you and me. Everybody, these cells are your cells. These cells are my cells. From the CD4 cells to the retinal Y cells. From the haploid gametes to our guest E. coli. These cells are found in you and me. We have red blood cells with hemoglobin to carry oxygen where the blood is flowing. No organelles here, just lots of protein. And these cells are found in you and me. All together, these cells are your cells. These cells are my cells. From the CD4 cells to the retinal Y cells, from the haploid gametes to our guest E. coli. Oh, these cells are found in you and me. When the sun is shining, there's nothing better than light absorption. My photoreceptors with their rhodopsin and ion channels. These cells are found with you and me. Voices only. These cells are your cells. These cells are my cells. from the CD4 cells to the retinal Y cells, from the haploid gametes to our guest E. coli. These cells are found in you and me. We'll do it one more time. These cells are your cells. These cells are my cells. From the CD4 cells to the retinal Y cells, from the haploid gametes to our guest E. coli. These cells are found in you and me. These cells are found in you and me. Thank you, Seattle! You've been a great audience!